Hello, everybody. Well, of course, there's actually nobody, but for the future, when people do join in, hello, how you doing? Today, I'm going to build a quadcopter, this 3-inch that I've had on my desk for weeks now. It's time I actually get this thing finished. I did actually already start on it a little bit ago, but decided to go ahead and live stream it for everybody. So I've got to click a few things here, send a few links out, and get started. Might as well let people know that we're live streaming. All right, there we go. All right, so here we have a 3-inch frame. This is called the Dragon Frog, which is available off Amazon. It's a cheap, basically no brand name frame. Who knows who built it? Who knows why? But it's not bad. It's pretty decent. Flat piece of carbon fiber that's cut out into a shape. And somewhere here, there is a top plate that goes on it. Sandwiches like that between the standoffs. It also has some other pieces that can attach to the front for a larger camera module, but I'm using a really tiny one, so instead I've removed the extra pieces and 3D printed up a little holder for it. This is all TPU, nice and flexible stuff. I got a TPU mount for the rear antenna, TPU mount for the camera, and this one's kind of just an air gap spacer for the receiver and the video transmitter, just to help keep it cool and to keep it from shorting out against the carbon fiber, which is very conductive. So like I said, I already got started. I've got the battery lead soldered on. Capacitor is soldered to the battery lead. The capacitor helps with voltage spikes that are generated from the motors. The motors here are, well, they're tiny. Not much to say about them. They're low kV, very tiny, very lightweight. Hopefully can put out enough to make this thing move. Should be somewhere between slow to fast, somewhere kind of in the middle. This isn't going to be the most interesting stream. I just have some soldering to do and tape a few things and, sit here with the gears turning, trying to figure out where everything goes. So, I will give you exactly what I promise, which is not very much. Make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe and, all that bullshit. Cable set, we don't need that. This is the video, the receiver for the RC link. This is a TBS Crossfire. It works on 900 megahertz in the US or 866 in Europe. Pretty long range on this thing, maybe around 20, 30 kilometers. Slightly less in freedom units. I don't know if I'm going to use this one or if I'm going to go with this other one, which is called Tracer. You can see it's much smaller antennas. The range is much less, but they're smaller antennas, so you can mount these things up and kind of hide them here on the frame. Or with this guy, got to mount it up in the back and you have it going across the entire back of the whole frame. We'll see. Undecided on that one. The main difference is that with the 900 megahertz, it's extremely unlikely that I will be able to fly out of range and have it force disconnect. With the 2.4 gigahertz tracer module, there's a good chance that I could actually disconnect going around behind a tree or a metal building or something. It's also a bit lighter without the larger antenna, so we'll see. Decide that one later. Motors are already soldered up. Let's see what we have. Camera was next. Video in. I think my wire leads are just barely too short to actually reach for the pads for the camera, which is very annoying. Gonna have to add like 5mm extensions to it. If anyone's out there actually watching this thing, say something in the chat. Might as well get something going during this dead time. If anyone's wondering, that is the Line 64 Pine Sill. It goes into sleep mode. You have to jiggle it to warm it up. So I usually do that when I'm getting ready to solder something so it can warm up ahead of time. Now that's interesting. This camera can run straight off the battery voltage. I don't have to run it off a converter, but I will go ahead and run it off the 5-volt output on this flight controller because it should be a little bit cleaner. These wires are, they have a silicone housing on it. It strips with your fingernails really easily. It's very easy to work with. But it also breaks open really easily too, which can be kind of a nuisance. So when you're moving wires around, it's pretty easy to pinch it and tear open the housing on it, and you can end up with a short that way pretty easily. Do I have any heat shrink of the right size left? Probably not. Oh, never mind, there we go. Got a little block of blue tack here. Can be pretty useful when you're soldering stuff. Be able to just smush the wires down and have it held in place. It's kind of like a synthetic clay. I do want to try and keep all of my wires and everything as short as possible. It helps keep the interference and noise down so they don't act like antennas, but also because of the weight. This thing needs to be as lightweight as possible to help get better flight times. You know, all up weight with the battery included should be I think around 150 grams. And, if you add 10 grams to something, it's a pretty significant, don't worry, these things are tough. It's a significant amount of weight. So hopefully we can keep it light, keep it tight. Carlos Mora, how you doing? You a member of our cafe Discord? So this little quad I'm making is partially old parts from another quad that died on me, and partially new stuff. So, like all good projects, it's a bit of a Frankenstein. I might as well share this link on a couple other spots too if I want to bother live streaming this. Yeah, that's enough. All right, let's see what's next. We got just a couple more of these extensions to add. It'd be great if that soldering iron didn't go to sleep. It's too smart. Too much going on in that thing. If anyone's wondering, that is solder paste. I'm using it kind of like I would use flux if I could actually find my flux, which I can't. Donnie with the dab. The other kind of dab. This heat shrink does not want to slide on easily. It's a tight fit. All right, skipping that one. I'll just throw a little electrical tape or something on it later. Definitely won't forget. So, to the 2 people that are still watching out there, what projects do you guys have going right now? See me swatting at the air randomly. I'm not crazy. There's just one fruit fly in here bugging me. All right, there we go. Extensions added. All right, so Cadex Ant FPV camera. It is super freaking tiny. I think this is the smallest one that is made for this purpose. There are, of course, smaller cameras, but diminishing returns and all that. This one definitely should do what I need it to. And this is a recycled part, so I've already used it on a different quad, and I know that it looks pretty decent. It's got good night performance as well. So we're going to pre-tin the pads here. Camera's video feed will actually go through the flight controller, which will add a on-screen display, get a little information about what's going on, like your amperage draw, elevation, battery voltage, that kind of stuff. And then it'll feed back out to my video transmitter, which hopefully is sitting on my desk over here in these pile of parts. Can't say I remember exactly where I left it. That's how this always seems to go. Probably put it away so I could make sure I had it when I needed it. That's a problem for later. All right, looking good. Hey, Luigi. I am live, but it's not through StreamYard. Although I could probably change that if you wanted to join in as a hand device. But I'll tell you what, don't hold your soldering iron like that. That's why I have this scar right here. I know I said I need to keep these wires short, but I also want it to be easier, easier to rebuild and work on, or if I need to resolder something after a wire gets ripped out. If I make everything just the exact length, then it's just gonna be annoying later. So giving myself a little bit of slack to work with. And I'm not particularly good at building these things either, so last time I put together the 3-inch quad, burned out the flight controller after just a couple flights, got stuck in a tree. Player 2, I would, but I'd have to start the stream again. Although if ever need, there's only 5 of us here watching. If you guys don't mind reconnecting here in just like 1 minute, I'll go ahead and open up StreamYard so that other people can jump in. It actually would be a little more interesting than just staring at the top of my head. All right, I'm going to kill the stream. Just refresh the cafe YouTube page here in 1 moment, and there will be a new stream ready to join up. See you guys in a moment.